The bull market is officially back and things are heating up. So in this video, we are going to be covering the latest news that you've missed. So diving right into what's going on in the markets, as you can clearly see, Bitcoin, Ethereum, literally like almost every other coin is up quite a lot. Bitcoin 56K, Ethereum 3.2K. So we're getting very close to the previous all-time highs. Now, what's interesting about this is that from my personal feeling of this, and especially people who are trading NFTs, which is where I kind of focus, there's not a lot of new wallets coming into the space, right? So people estimate there's around 50 or 60,000 people who are actively trading NFTs in general in the market. And it's not really going up that much, like 10% or something, right? So that means we are very early. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum are going back to all-time highs and altcoins are going up as well, and the normal people, the everyday cousin, uncle, auntie, whatever, hasn't really joined yet, then we probably have a long way up to go, which is amazing for anyone who is early in the space. So there are definitely a lot of plays to be had. Now let's go ahead and talk about one of the first plays that a lot of people are jumping on, and that's going to be Pixelmon. Now, Pixelmon recently had their token sale. So it's basically a community token sale where if you had a Pixelmon NFT, you had certain golden trainers, and then also there were raffles as well, which we also provided in the Parallax community. So if you want to get alpha and you also want these exclusive benefits like codes for tokens, make sure to check out the Parallax. Link is in the description, which is our NFT project. But back to the MON protocol. Essentially, they sold out in like 8 minutes. It's oversubscribed, so not everyone's going to be winning these because it's a raffle. But if you had a Pixelmon and you did this, then you're going to get it. It's one of the hotter gaming project mints. They raised a lot in pre-sale. A lot of whales are in it. A lot of top people are in it. A lot of influencers are in it. Now everybody knows about it. It's definitely shaping up to be one of the hottest gaming related tokens in general. At the time of this recording, there's about $15 million if you convert it to US dollars in deposit. I don't think everyone's going to win in this. Wishing everyone best of luck. And you definitely see a lot of influential people in the space. For example, Grail, who's kind of like really doing really well when it comes to content creation in the gaming space. So it's like people in Spirit DAO, other influencers are all kind of jumping on board. So, you know, narrative is the name of the game, right? Obviously the game has to be good. Even if the game never comes out, you know, narrative definitely pushes the price. So that's something to definitely consider. Pixelmon's kind of sitting at that 1.4 ETH. And the reason is because there's a couple things. Number one, there's this like rumor, if you dump your Pixelmon, you may not be allowed to purchase your token. They'll give you a refund. They kind of want to keep the floor, you know, at least 1 ETH. If you hold the NFT, you know, every so often they're going to be dropping you tokens. So now the value of a Pixelmon is going to be directly linked to the MON protocol, meaning how many tokens it's going to get. And also if they are able to increase the value by having the game be successful and they have all that decentralized IP narrative and revenue share kind of talk, it could increase the value of the price. So that's just kind of what it is when it comes to price. The best example from previous project who launched a token similar to this would be Memeland. So if you want to study more about like how Pixelmon is doing it, you definitely want to watch Memeland because they've basically done something similar, and Pixelmon kind of borrowing inspiration from that playbook. So if you want to see how the past rhymes, check out Memeland. Now we're gonna move on to the next project. It's gonna be Blast. You know, the mainnet is coming on February 29th, and there's a ton of projects who are coming in the game when it comes to launching products on Blast. There recently was a competition where basically the best ideas are going to get a bunch of tokens. The projects typically will try to reward the community with those tokens. So these are going to be some of the top projects. When it comes to like these projects, you kind of want to look at other layer 1s and layer 2s in the past. So it's going to be lending protocols. It's going to be protocols that allow you to exchange different tokens. There's going to be the #1 meme coin there. There's going to be the #1 NFT. So these are the ones that are typically present in every single ecosystem. So you definitely want to look at who are going to be the winners here if you are trading Blast. People are saying like it's kind of like Ponzi-ish, where, you know, you just take one thing, put in another, get more money, put in another. There's some truth to that. So if you play this game, understand that a lot of teams are undoxed. A lot of these mechanisms are built to drive price up in a rapid way. As quickly as things go up, things can go down, or maybe it goes to the moon before it goes down. So you definitely want to understand the game that you are playing here. So definitely check out this list of the winners. Kind of gives you a sense of like what are the best projects according to Blast. It doesn't mean other projects can't succeed, but you know, that's just a one way to do it. Now let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin Ordinals and ETH NFT daily volume, right? Because there has been a lot of interest in Bitcoin Ordinals. So in general, Bitcoin Ordinals right now is higher than ETH. So according to Keen Win over here, so Bitcoin Ordinals reached 20 million daily volume, surpassing ETH, right? So that's pretty crazy. In last year in February, you know, the monthly volume was only 385K. So now that volume has multiplied by quite a bit. Top Ordinal collections, if you're curious, is going to be Node Monkeys, Quantum Cats, and Ordinal Max Bits. My personal take on this is that obviously there's a lot of people holding Bitcoin, so they want to do something with their Bitcoin. They want to buy NFTs. So that's definitely a narrative there. The other thing is like there's this different kind of narrative where it's all about like like getting the art inscribed into Bitcoin and not pointing it to another server, and you know, what block is it on. So it's like a lot of these like nerdy things that people really value, and when people value it, it becomes real, right? So all these things are very interesting for people who are collecting like Bitcoin NFTs. And the other part that's interesting is, what is the expectation of a NFT project on Ordinals? There's not really much, right? Because it's very new. It's kind of like CryptoPunks. It's like it just exists to exist, and people value it because they think it's cool. That's pretty much it. But when you launch an ETH project, people expect you to build an IP, be the next Pudgy Penguins or Azuki or whatever, right? And so that's why Ordinals presents a lot of opportunity for founders who just want to make art and sell it. It's easier to do that. There's a market to buy it, so they're definitely that route. I think people who want to build like a brand outside of just Web3, they want to move on Ethereum. So now we're kind of like seeing the differences in type of projects that you'll see. There's not a lot of like high quality projects when it comes to like high quality art on Bitcoin Ordinals. I do think that's an opportunity. Right now, it's just like these more easier type of projects, more like meme kind of projects, art projects. There's obvious history to every project, and the founder has a following and stuff like that, right? But if you took this and you said, okay, like let's put it on ETH, would anyone really care? Probably not. But because on Ordinals, this is like, oh my God, right? You just have to understand like the sentiment there, the culture there. It's a touch for sure. You know, not everyone will understand it, but if you do understand it, there's a lot of opportunity because money is flowing into Bitcoins right now. One of the co-founders, Garga, is retaking the position as CEO of Yuga Labs. So a lot of people find this bullish for the entire ecosystem because people feel that after the other segment, after ApeCoin, things haven't really been going well for Yuga Labs. Everything's kind of going down. Pudgy Penguins, even Flipboard Ape for a moment. The games they're putting out are not necessarily the most exciting for a broader audience, I suppose. Or people kind of expected a lot from other side, I should say it like that, right? They expected like the Fortnite of Web3 or like this massive MMO, but then now they're focusing on, you know, smaller type of mini games. So yeah, so, you know, not very bullish, right? So now that people understand this, they feel like Yuga Labs is not listening. One of the co-founders is stepping back into the CEO role, which is they have a more cultural touch, they have the vision, and they can align everyone in the right direction. And so hopefully this does better for Yuga Labs, because Yuga Labs does own some of the top projects like CryptoPunks, Other Side, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and all the smaller collections under that. So if, you know, Yuga Labs win, it kind of opens the door for other people to show that, hey, the space is legitimate, right? So I hope Yuga Labs does well now that there is a change in leadership. We're seeing a lot of other founders like Frank DeGods over here, who is now the CEO of two newly merged company. You know, long story short, there's basically DeGods and another company that's a software company, D Labs. And then they kind of, the whole idea was like, hey, you know, DeGods is the marketing and everyone's going to know who we are. Floor price is high, so that when we create tools for ourselves, we can sell it to other people, and we're going to build a software company out of that. Now, the software company didn't really work out. The products people don't really use. So now and the other issue is that they kind of split their talent in two different companies, and it just kind of didn't lead to a lot of results. So now they're kind of putting all their talent together under one company led by Frank DeGods. So we're going to see a lot of cultural influential CEOs come back and leading their company and adding that magic to what they had in the beginning and having it less corporate, right? So I think this is a common trend you'll see more often. And real quick, the last thing I want to talk about is going to be McDonald's or McDonald's, right? So McDonald's kind of changed their branding on Twitter to make it very anime, which is very interesting for a global brand, one of the most popular brands in the world, and everything they're posting is like very anime, right? That just kind of proves that anime is on the rise. So, you know, definitely watch out for anime projects, because you're going to see more and more mainstream companies get into anime, because it is a genre that kind of crosses borders, not in Japan, but literally all around the world. People love anime. It's one of the most popular genres on Netflix. So, you know, you're going to see a lot of anime projects popping up in Web3, whether it's Ordinals, Ethereum, Solana, whatever you name it. It's just going to be one of the hit genres. So with that said, that's everything we got to cover for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. And if you want to join the Parallax community, where I'm there almost every single day with our community members, check it out. Links in the description to check out our NFT, and I'll see you in the next one.